we can hear you.
A very good evening to all. Toastmaster Zena Lewis here, Sergeant at Arms. Welcome you all to Inspire on Toastmasters meeting number 249. The mission of the Toastmasters Club is to provide mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop oral and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. A few ground rules before we begin. Please make sure you are seated in a peaceful environment and having good internet connectivity. Please stay on mute as soon as your turn is over. Please do not unmute yourself unless required. Members are requested to keep their video turned on and not to make any unnecessary movements. If you have to do so, kindly turn it off and then turn it on once again. Please avoid talking about taboo topics like sex, politics, and religion. Please use the reaction buttons to applaud our role takers. In case of any queries, please feel free to use the raise hand option or drop a message on the chat below. On that note, I would like to hand over the proceedings to our president, Toastmaster Fiona Morris.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zena. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. A warm welcome to meeting number 249. I would acknowledge the presence of our area director, our very own member, Toastmaster Jyotika, and we have our club coach, Toastmaster Veera Katpatia, DTM Veera Katpatia. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. And we have our VP Education as well as CGD's Analytic Officer, Toastmaster, our very own member, Toastmaster Amit. A warm welcome to you, to Amit. And we have the President of Manipal Would-Be Toastmasters, Toastmaster Rashmika, and the Secretary of Manipal Would-Be Toastmasters, Toastmaster Nikita, and a member of Manipal Would-Be Toastmasters, Toastmaster Vignesh. A warm welcome to you. And then we have a guest for today, Toastmaster Shweta. Hello, a warm welcome to you too. Here in Toastmasters, we all learn the art of public speaking. If we are good, we try to be the best. If we are, and it is nothing like we are great orators. Every one of us, we take those baby steps and then we grow. Yeah. And Toastmasters is basically about not only just communication, it is about all-round development. We try to grow. It helps us to grow professionally as and personally as well. This is me speaking from my personal experience. So a warm welcome to you, Shweta. A warm welcome to you for our meeting. And so we have our very own members, Toastmaster Jacob, Toastmaster Roshan, Toastmaster Zena, and Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran. So have I missed anyone here? I think everyone is here. Okay. And Toastmaster Jeevan, yes. And Toastmaster, our VP, immediate past president, Toastmaster Ashrita. A warm welcome to you. So there's a very good news. I would like to congratulate member Toastmaster Jyotika ma'am. She has published a book that is Back in Control. So congratulations to you, ma'am. It's a very good news for us.
Thank you very much, Fiona.
You're welcome, ma'am. So the book is named Back in Control. So anytime we make time, so let's all read it.
Yeah, sure, definitely. It's available online and paperback. So, and I also have my books here, so I can hand it over whenever I meet you all next time.
Yes.
So let's have offline meeting soon, right? So we have a reason to meet.
Yes, sure. That would be great. And then we have, and I would like to congratulate Amit for participating in Toastmasters Got Talent, conducted by Emphasis Toastmasters. The videos were pretty amazing. Congratulations to Amit. And I request everyone yeah, to complete your projects. Yeah, I think sometimes I feel like I'm talking to first I'm telling it to me myself. So let us all complete our projects. Let us all learn together. Let us help each other grow. Then we have almost finished half of the year this year. So let us all complete our projects. And next, we have on next meeting will be a 250th meeting. So it's a big celebration for us. So let's all plan something big for this. So if you all have any ideas, contact Amit or me anytime. So let us decide something good for our 250th meeting. So without any further ado, now I would like to hand over the control to today's TMOD and veteran Toastmaster, a person with the calm, serene smile, Toastmaster Jacob. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fiona, for that beautiful introduction. Today, I am the Toastmaster of the day, and my role is to conduct the meeting. Am I audible?
Yes.
My role is to conduct the meeting. And before I start, let me call upon Toastmaster Vignesh. Is he available? Hello, Toastmaster Vignesh.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Now, Toastmaster Vignesh, he is our general evaluator today. He is from Manipal Udupi Toastmasters. He is pursuing his chartered accountancy. He has a thirst for learning new things and passionate about speaking and loves to play guitar. Please welcome Toastmaster Vignesh to introduce his tag team.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob. So, firstly, let us start off with our tag team, beginning with the R counters report. Shall the R counter, that is Toastmaster Rashmika, who is also the grammarian, can explain her role?
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh. So I would be taking up the role of the R counter as well as grammarian. So I would explain the role of R counter. That is, I would be noting down certain R's, repetition words, and certain unwanted pauses or filler words. And please note that it's not to make you, it's just to make you aware of it and not to undermine anybody's orating skills or any of that thing. At the end, when the general evaluator calls me, I would provide my short and crisp detailed report, short and crisp report. And my role as a grammarian would involve me to note down certain good usage of the word and also the not so good usage of the word. And also primarily, I would be giving the word of the day. The word of the day is conquer, that is a verb. And the meaning, I believe most of you are aware, it's a very simple word. It means either to gain or acquire something by force. And also it means successfully overcoming something. So it could be used both in a positive and a negative way as well. Like, for example, I will post the example as well in the chat box. I would also introduce you to the phrase of the day, that is keep one's eyes open. So the meaning is watch out for something or being alert. Please note that you can also change the ones into like his or her or something, like keep his eyes open or keep her eyes open or something. So I expect you all to use both the word of the day, that is conquer, and phrase of the day, that is keep one's eyes open. And I hope all of you use it. And if you will be pardoned if you used either, but if you do not use neither of that, I will probably note down all your names and reward you with a punishment. Over to you, General Manager.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashmika. Can we have the timer Toastmaster Amit to explain his role?
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh. Time is one of the factors which everybody would admire to be followed with. Now, in Toastmasters, time management is a key ingredient that we all learn. As the timer for today, I will be noting down the time taken by each of the speaker and also the evaluator. Uh, and by the end of the meeting, I will read out the time taken. With this report, the speakers will be able to assess how they have managed their time. And this is only to help our speakers to do their time management. Thank you very much. Over to Vignesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. That's it from my tag team. I hand over the stage back to Toastmaster Jacob.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vignesh. Now let us start. I'll start with a real life story. China and Hong Kong have one of the busiest land borders. At the end of Hong Kong border, there's a railway station called Lowu. And at the beginning of Chinese border, there's a railway station called Lohu. Both almost sound similar. Between these two stations is a covered corridor. And at both ends of this corridor are the immigration offices. This covered corridor is about 1 to 1.5 kilometers long. It is a no man's land, neither of China or nor of Hong Kong. Now our friend in the story, he decided to have a holiday in Hong Kong. He's from India, of course. He didn't take a visa to China because he didn't have any plans to visit China. So I arrived in Hong Kong, had a nice time there. Then some of his Hong Kong friends told him, if you have a Hong Kong visa, you can easily enter China. And he believed and trusted them. Why not visit China? So after his holiday, he packed his bags, arrived at Lowu railway station. He entered the Hong Kong immigration office. They gave him an exit permit. And with his bag, he started walking in that 1 to 1.5 kilometers long corridor. And finally, he reached the Chinese border. There was the immigration office. He entered. There were many counters, all manned by lady immigration officers. He approached one of the counter, gave his passport. That lady told him something in Chinese, which he couldn't understand, and told him to just stand aside. After about 5 minutes, another lady, maybe her manager, came and told him, you cannot enter China because you don't have a Chinese visa. So this friend again took his bags, walked back then 1.5 kilometers long corridor, and reached back the Hong Kong border, Hong Kong immigration office. There they told him, since you exited Hong Kong, you have to enter another country and then come back. Then only we can give you an entry. He got stuck between the two landlocked, between the two nations, China and Hong Kong. He was in that no man's land, in that 1.5 kilometers covered corridor. That corridor doesn't have any shops, no mobiles, no mobile shops, no ATMs, nothing is there. Now what he will do? A helpless situation. Will someone help him? Will a miracle happen? Anyway, let me come back to that later. We also find ourselves in such a situation so many times, not like this visa problem, but helpless situation where no help comes and we wait for a miracle to happen. But since we are Toastmasters, I'll tell something about the Toastmaster. Now we are having a web meeting. When we were doing physical meeting, we have seen a lot of people coming to the stage, facing the audience. Their mouths are shut then. Even it happens to me sometimes now also. And the stage becomes a no man's land for them. But thanks to the Toastmasters movement started by Rapsy Medley in 1924, in basement of YMCA at Santa Ana, California, we can at least speak something. And thanks to our Inspire on Toastmasters, which was chartered on 29 June 2011, is continuing that tradition thanks to the Toastmasters. Now we will start our educational session. We have 3 sections in the educational session: prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluation session. In prepared speeches, we have 3 speakers. Let me start with the speaker 1. To evaluate the speaker 1, the evaluator is Toastmaster Jyotika Shetty. Please welcome Toastmaster Jyotika Shetty to give the objectives of the speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Our speaker today, Toastmaster Roshan, is attempting his icebreaker speech titled My Journey into No Man's Land. And the path that he has opted for is team collaboration. The purpose statement of his speech today is the purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. And the timing of the speech is 4 to 6 minutes. Wish you all the best, Toastmaster Roshan.
Our first speaker is Toastmaster Roshan Handan. Did I pronounce it correctly? Handan. Okay. Toastmaster Handan. Toastmaster Handan is a soft skills trainer who enjoys pulao once a day. Listening to Korean pop and watching anime are few of his hobbies. I heard he is one of the best speakers. No, I have not heard him till now, but I know he is a good speaker. Today he is attempting the icebreaker speech in the team collaboration, as the evaluator told. The title of the speech is My Journey into No Man's Land. Toastmaster Roshan Handan, My Journey into No Man's Land.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Jyotika. This really helps me keep my eye open to be able to conquer the task. That's true for you, Rashmi. Now, we have all been into no man's land recently this year, haven't we? That's the pandemic, which I'll come circling around back to it again. But let's look at what Merriam Dictionary has to offer. It says one of the meanings is an unclaimed land. Another is an unoccupied area between 2 opposing armies. I think I need to move the camera a little farther so you guys can see my body language a little better. Excuse me. And the third is an area not suitable for habitation. I chose to use the one that's the trickiest, which is unoccupied area between 2 opposing armies. And what that conjures up for me is the image of the one man walking in between the 2 armies in a straight line, unharmed. And the trick really here is that he wears both uniforms on either side. So each side thinks that he is the hero. It has been a scenario, or it's been dramatized over and over in many movies since the age of black and white and screen TV. But if we would like to look for no man's land in our personal lives, we can see it in many other areas. Let's talk about 2 opposing arguments by 2 of your favorite friends, and you know that they're both justified. Here, you're walking on a rope, more like on thin ice. Let's say you're walking on a rope that's on a thin ice. So that's a combo pack you've never asked for, but how do you keep both friends happy, especially if they're asking you to back them up? But the real no man's land is the no man's land within, the conflicts that we have internally, where we have 2 opposing forces, 2 desires. But if you choose one, you're in a dilemma, because the definition of dilemma is that you're damned either way. You have something to lose in deciding on either one. And I think here, to be able to live in no man's land and to survive it, and to see it through into back to, everyday land. I don't know what is the opposite of no man's land. If you do, let me know. I'd be curious to know. Is to really find reconciliatory factors between the 2 opposing armies, 2 opposing friends, and 2 opposing desires that you have in your heart. And sometimes, like Roy Sutherland, the chairman of a reputable advertising agency, says, after reaching a certain level of satisfying your basic needs, all problems are really problems of perception and not really problems of utility or material problems. So to paraphrase it, perhaps the creativity here in being able to reconcile between the two opposing forces may not be in execution, but it could be simply in our perception. And I'm going to talk to you ending with my personal no man's land. And this has been a topic that I've been thinking about for the past few days. Incidentally, it resonates very well with this topic that we have for today, which is that I've always wanted to enjoy and experience freedom, but I've always wanted to enjoy and experience success and recognition and the love of other people, the attention that comes along with it. So I'm a person who's driven by attention, but at the same time, I love staying aloof. I want to be free. So how this has played out in my life is that I ended up being a freelance trainer for 7 years, but never really an assistant manager, a team leader, or a manager. At the age of 40, most of my peers are managers or higher. And I am still a trainer. So when I got to thinking about it, I realized that there are two types of freedom. One is the raw freedom, the freedom of just being physically free from responsibility. And the other type of freedom is a little subtle, not raw, but it's something you experience. It's not something you really see on the person, which is the freedom that is the consequence of fulfilling one's duties. You can go to sleep after finishing up all those reports that you really had to struggle through, and then you really go to sleep like a baby. And I'd like to end with this quote from, I don't believe a movie is a good source necessarily for a good quote. Maybe a biography or an autobiography is a better source, but this one is something that comes to mind. God, the character in the movie, says to Bruce, people underestimate the benefits of good old manual labor. Just think a minute. Some of the happiest people in the world go home smelling to high heaven at the end of the day. Circling back to the pandemic, I found myself emerging from my personal no man's land in the solitude, in the forced solitude, a much better person, having reconciled and having been able to deal with the many things that I couldn't have done before the pandemic. So it was a gateway for self-discovery. Of course, it is a gateway for gossip. We choose what to say. That's my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Roshan Handan. A very nice speech. I never thought in this angle, another perception of having different characters in between that, all the things you mentioned. Please give a big applause to Roshan Handan. Now we come to the second speaker. Second speaker is evaluated by Toastmaster Ashrita. Please welcome Ashrita to give the objectives the speaker of the speech.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran would be attempting understanding leadership style. The purpose of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. The purpose of the speech is also for the member to share some aspects of his or her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. So over to you, Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran. You have 5 to 7 minutes.
Wait. Our next speaker today is Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran. He is working as a senior executive in Quest Corporation. His passion is reading. Today, I know he is a good speaker. I heard a lot of his speeches. Today's title of the speech is Where There Is a Will, There Is a Way. Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran, where there is a will, there is a way.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Good evening, Toastmasters. And yesterday I was reading about this preparation of the speech, the leadership style, which is my favorite one. And I have been working a lot since years together to change my personality. It is possible. So that's why I have kept the title as Where There Is a Will, There Is a Way. Even you can change your personality style. That's possible. So, well, because I was thinking about what to speak, and since I don't want to go into the explanation of the definitions of personality styles, because real practical example, lifetime experience, real experience will help you to understand, and it will be so touching how I overcome. I am taking my own example. To begin with, I had been a very silent and very passive, because the non-assertiveness and the leadership styles are very go together. I was very passive, and very passive in the sense like I was so silent, and I was not able to express myself, and I had to work a lot because I was working. Basically, my the questionnaire whatever I have answered, it shows the top. It shows very true. It is 25% or 26% democratic leadership style, the top one. And regarding the other type of leadership, it's really touching. I can change over because it is possible. We can change anything. That's why I've kept the title Where There Is a Will, There Is a Way. I have transformed myself from non-assertiveness to assertiveness, because it's you feel it's easy, but practically it is very, 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 very difficult. Let me tell you, I have taken a lot of therapies, and in depth I have, with the experts I have sat, and there is something called as let me take you to the journey in between. In short, I'll take you journey how it's possible. There is something called as management counseling. Like in the management counseling, in the sense like counselor, like it's not like a psychology counseling. It's a management counseling where you can change your personality styles. And there is something called as inner child healing, and where your personality can be restored. And I had been because to be open with this is my own family. This Toastmaster, there's nothing to hide in this my own Toastmaster Inspiron family. Because I had a genetic issue which was related to the personality style. I had to go in depth and learn completely, route it and change it from the non-assertiveness to the assertiveness. So what we feel is like my guess to change is to the autocratic style, because as I read in my management thing, like because what in this Toastmaster this there are some 5-6 personality styles are there, but what I have read it in management when I did my MBA, that is uh, democratic, autocratic, and situational leadership. Now I want I'm democratic, but I'm trying to be autocratic. Autocratic in the sense where we autocratic in the sense we it's situation leader. When the situation needs you to be democratic, you have to be democratic. When it needs to be autocratic, you have to be autocratic. That's very, 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 very difficult, but it's possible. Only thing we have to it's all in the mind. When I was doing my NLP therapy, and it's let me tell you, it's all in the mind. The whole everything, whatever we think, that we are. And if it's even we can route our negative thoughts, and which causes anxiety. And that's also because psychology and leadership styles, personality styles are interrelated. They are the sons of a whole one family. So what I feel is like in my job, in where I was working, because I had a chance to control 300 people, 300 people are working in my under. So I started, experimenting my therapies and changing my personality styles. And I'm trying to be getting harder to be autocratic, but it's possible. Now I'm slowly changing it over to autocratic, and that's my journey. My goal is to be situational leadership. If we have situational leadership, you can make anything, whichever job you switch over, whichever people, nothing. And plus with the assertiveness, you are the master. So what I feel is like this Toastmaster, I have thought, because when I yesterday I spoke to Amit that he had a very good answer, because I was stuck in the traditional path, and he told me a good switch over idea he has given to me in a very good answer. So what I feel is like this Toastmaster is awesome, and I really benefited, and I am want to change my personality to autocratic style. But one thing is like what I've read from the therapist, there are certain areas you cannot change, and certain areas you can change, because if you change certain area, it will hamper your functioning of belief systems, etc. So it's possible. So finally, changing of leadership style is possible, and I have changed from non-assertiveness to assertiveness. From I'm switching over to democratic to autocratic or situation leadership. So over to Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran, for that informative and personal speech. As you said, we face obstacles, but with our willpower, we conquer them. Please give a big applause to Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran. Our next speaker is evaluated by Toastmaster Nikita. Please welcome Toastmaster Nikita to explain the objectives of the speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Jacob Koshi. My target speaker for the day is Toastmaster Zena Lois, who is in her level 5 project. This is the last project, Prepare to Speak Professionally. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. And notes for the evaluator are that the member completing this project has been working to build the skills necessary to engage an audience for an extended period of time. So the timer, please note the speech length is 18 to 22 minutes. So green at 18, amber at 20, and red at 22. All the best to you, Toastmaster Zena Lewis, and back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikita. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Zena Lewis. She's a freelancer, a very determined and strong-headed person who will never give up. I heard a lot of her speeches. She's a very good speaker. She has taken a path visionary communication, as the evaluator has told. The title of the speech is Let It Go. Toastmaster Zena Lewis, let it go.
Thank you, Toastmaster Koshi. Jack Ma, a Chinese business magnate, philanthropist, and a co-founder of Alibaba Group, quotes, "Never give up. Today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but day after tomorrow will be sunshine." A very good evening to all my fellow Toastmasters here, friends and guests. If you fail, never give up. FAIL means first attempt in learning. End is not the end. In fact, end means effort never dies. If you get no as an answer, that NO means next opportunity. Today, I would like to talk about my experiences in life and how I have scaled up to new levels in personal and professional life. I was a victim of domestic violence and was shattered emotionally and psychologically. During that time, I was working in Dubai, and my life was only from house to office, and the office was my first home. I lived in fear and torture for almost 17 years. There were times I was made to sleep in the washroom. In one instance, the balcony, that too in the month of June in that soaring heat. Another instance, I was made to buy medicines at 10 p.m. in the night from the medical stores. One day, I was kept outside the house from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. in the night. As I was a very religious person, I thought it was a sin to separate, and so I remained in that relationship without even expressing myself to anyone. I showed the world from outside that everything was fine with me, but within me, I was going through a lot. I'd lost all my earnings and what I possessed. These were few incidences which I had gone through in my life and had impacted me during that time. This is not to complain about anyone. Thereafter, in early 2016, I was diagnosed with terminal illness. There were jitters running down my spine. I'd become anxious and all sorts of thoughts used to run in my mind. At that point of time, I read a book on how a young woman who was ill had transpired into a new person. I thought to myself that I should be like her and stop thinking about myself and stay positive and fearless. My health became better by each day, and soon I recovered completely. It is because I let go the fear and negativity in me, which healed me soon. Positive thought and strong faith helped me to fight it effortlessly. During that time, there were people who were giving me negative vibes and putting fear in me, making me more conscious. I used to become anxious at that point of time with these negative things. There were some people who said to me that it was because of karma. With these things going around, I had developed a lot of hurt and unforgiveness in me because of what had happened to me. I wanted to let it go from myself. Although my classmates and friends were in touch with me and sending me positive vibes and making me feel better. My family, especially my dear mom, was a strong pillar to me at that point of
At the
time.
same time,
But when I but when I let go all my bitterness, hurt, and unforgiveness, I was able to love myself and embrace life. I grew well and became more confident and courageous. My health became better by each day and completely recovered. In 2018, I wanted to have some friends, so I quickly Googled and spoke to Prajwal Swarna, who was the president then of Toastmaster Inspiron Club. Although I was not wholeheartedly happy to join, the fear and shyness in me had brought to a standstill in my activities. I wanted to let it go, but did not know where to start and how to do it. I remember when I first gave my icebreaker speech, I had read the entire script. The first thing I had in my mind and told people around was that public speaking is not my cup of tea. I am not a speech person, and so on. With all these things and fear inside me, all through my pathway speeches, my speech delivery was not all that good. I compared myself to others and thought I could not do it at all. The minute I go in front of the audience and start the speech, after a few minutes, it's just gone from my mind. And I used to refer to the script. There are few times where I've taken up impromptu speeches. You can imagine about it. So I let it go. I wanted to let go my ego of having a mindset. Public speaking is not my cup of tea. I wanted to let go of the fear and consciousness about what people would think or say. Since my focus was more on me than the audience, my speech delivery would not go well. I used to fumble for words, and there were times I forgot the lines and could not connect to them. Accepting my mistake at the first instance and doing it differently brought a change in my speech delivery. This time, I started focusing on the audience and talking to them as though I was talking to a group of people and giving them information which would help them in their life. I had noticed this transition from my last couple of speeches. They were flawless with simple English, and the flow of words and their usage was good. And I could connect them well with the lines which I wanted to speak. There were no butterflies in my stomach, no blank mind, or no nervousness in me. I had a calm voice, and the speech captured the audience attention. My communication has become effective, and my road to the next level has already begun. This has also helped me to be a leader outside Toastmasters. Never give up attitude in me and taking action in achieving it has helped me in coming this far today. Regarding my professional life, insurance was not what I wanted to do as my profession. Whenever insurance advisors or agents approached me in the past, I used to evade them. I never had health insurance then, and investing in insurance was the last thing I would like to do. Many of you may be wondering what made me to choose this profession. It is because I had no insurance and during my illness I had to shell out from my pocket. I took up this service in order to help others. Somehow I made up my mind to answer the IRDA exams and then get a license. I soon got the license 3 years ago and started off. First and second month with zero sales. I had no idea on how to approach people and how to start. Although training was given to us, I did not know how to close the sale. Everyone I approached was saying no. I was almost on the verge of giving up. There were people who were very rude to me also. Sales job is not a tough job, as you all know. If you are a good salesperson, then you can survive anywhere. That very day, I watched a video of Shiv Khera on how to be successful in life and as a salesperson, what challenges he had gone through and finally how he made it to the top level. His video enlightened me not to give up and let go my negative thought of defeat soon. I became very determined and spoke to 10 customers every day. Initially, it did not pick up, but then I realized that I caught the skill and soon converted the policies on my own. During my sales journey, I came across few customers who did not have insurance at all. One day, I approached a friend of mine, Naveen, and his wife, Preeta. They both have a bubbly couple full of energy and life. During that time, I had suggested them health insurance. They told me they are looking for health insurance now, not now, and that it is a waste. After 2 months, I got a call from his wife saying that Naveen requires health insurance and that he is in the hospital to come along with my sales manager. When we had gone to meet them, his wife broke down saying that the hospital bills are exorbitant and they need more insurance to treat Naveen. I told her we can give health insurance only for her now. The people who had come to visit him were also very sad to see his situation and the heavy bills they had to pay without any insurance cover. Naveen was a software engineer. His company insurance was not sufficient to settle his bills. In another incident, a family of three had 4 lakh cover insurance cover. Recently, one of the family member has been diagnosed for breast cancer and they're looking for more insurance. The head of the family insisted me if they could get more insurance and chemotherapy is also very expensive. Unfortunately, I was not able to help them on this at all. Having adequate health insurance is very important these days. Every family needs minimum 10 lakh health insurance covered today. My friend's colleague, Mr. Avinash, had collected some money from his friends and sold his property in order to have his own restaurant in Mumbai. He traveled to Mumbai with his younger brother in the first week of March 2020. Little did he know that there would be so-called COVID-19 pandemic, which would not only paralyze himself but also the whole country and the world. On the 20th of March, on the 20th of March, there was the first lockdown enforced. People were asked to stay indoors. Mr. Avinash was all depressed and sad since he could not do what he wished to do. In the month of April, he was tested COVID positive. He didn't bother much about it as he thought it would all be well for him. Soon, in a span of 5 to 6 days, he was very ill and was admitted to one of the hospitals in Mumbai. At that time, he realized that he didn't have any health insurance. He was in the hospital for almost 22 days and his bill came to 22 lakhs. Every day he had to take an injection which cost around rupees 50,000 per day. His family was going through financial crisis during that time since his younger daughter just got a small job and there was nothing much that she could do with a small salary in order to pay the hospital bills. My friend and a group of social activists came forward to collect those funds to settle his hospital bills. That was what I heard from my friend last. I do not know if Mr. Avinash had made it or succumbed to disease. After these incidences, I started giving more awareness to people, requesting them to have a parallel policy as well. Today, I speak to a minimum 30 customers every day, and I never give up attitude has brought me this far. Now, even if some customer says no, I take it as NO, next opportunity, and make my day. Building my life from the scratch and from failure to success has made me even more stronger than before. Here, end is not the end for me. END means effort never dies. As I complete my first path in Pathways today, my gratitude to the Toastmasters public speaking platform for giving me this opportunity, which I did not think was possible with me otherwise. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zena Lewis, for that very inspirational speech with a personal experience. And you said never give up, let it go. And the last one is with the end. I forgot that one. But please give her a big applause. And now I call upon the timer to give the Toastmaster Amit to give the timing reports of the three speakers.
Thank you so much, TM Modi, TM Jacob. The first speaker, Toastmaster Roshan, you have taken 5 minutes 54 seconds. The second speaker, Toastmaster Ishwar, you have taken 6 minutes 11 seconds. And speaker number 3, Toastmaster Zena, you have taken 12 minutes 17 seconds. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. I think I can call for the voting for the speakers, I suppose.
We'll do it at the end of the
okay. And we'll go at the end of the day. Before we start our session, before we start the next session, I maybe a lot of people have watched or just heard about a movie called Terminal 1, I suppose, produced or directed by Steven Spielberg. It's a story of an Iranian exile, Mehran Karimi. He was expelled from Iran. Then he got a refugee passport, UN refugee passport, based in Belgium. So he departed from Iran. He was exiled from there. He landed at Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. From there, he entered France. From there, he decided he will go to Britain. I don't know the reason. Reasons are many. But after departing from the Paris airport, he lost his passport. Naturally, when he reached Britain, they said, we can't let you enter. And they sent him back to France. But at France, they said, we can't let you in because you don't have a passport. So he got stuck in the Paris airport. He stayed in that Paris airport from year 1988 till the year 2006, a span of 18 years. And so many movies were made out of him. The version is correct, but his explanation may be different. But he was stuck in the no man's land of the departure launch of the Paris airport for 18 years. People used to give him, passengers used to give him something. With that, he used to eat and pass his day. Then Steven Spielberg, I think some of the earnings from that movie, he gave it to him, but he didn't have any time to spare, where to spend it. He was stuck in the airport. I think finally he got out from there. I don't know the rest of the story. Anyway, we will come to our next interesting session, table topic session. To do that session, we have our president, Toastmaster Fayana. She is lecturer by profession. She loves traveling, loves animals, and especially cats and dogs. All of you know that. Please welcome Toastmaster Fayana to do the table topic session.
And thank you, Toastmaster Jacob. So one of the interesting segment in our meetings is the table topic segment. So in table topic segment, for the guest present here, table topic segment is where I give you the topic. It is an impromptu speech. I give you the topic. You have to speak on the topic for 2 minutes. 1 second. Yeah, you have to speak on the topic for 2 minutes. So after that, once 1 minute is done, the timer will show the green flag, 1.5 minutes, amber, and at the end of the 2 minutes, red flag. Red flags means you need to stop speaking. So let us proceed with the topics. So first topic, I will May I know who wants to be the first speaker of the day? Yes, I can't see any thumbs up or anything.
I can go first.
Yes, thank you, Roshan. Give me a minute. I can't switch on my camera if there's some problem.
Are you on your phone? Because if you move, toggle between windows on your, not windows, but apps on your phone, it will automatically shut the camera.
No, I can't because there's no light in here.
Okay.
That's the thing. Okay, so your topic is got stuck in a foreign land. I will post the topic in the chat box. Please do.
Okay,
Got
thank you.
stuck in a foreign land.
Let me know when I can start.
Yeah, you can start now.
Okay, well, the man who was stuck in a foreign land, the movie Terminus, and the man who was stuck in a foreign land in France are actually two different characters. Steven Spielberg has used the real life story, but he really based it very, very loosely. The movie is not really about the guy, and the guy did not even lose his passport. His country was undergoing a rebellion, and because of that, his passport became, basically the country was undergoing so much trouble, political trouble, and then it was de-recognized. So his passport did not have any value. And the reason why he went to France is because he claimed that one of his ancestors was, sorry, to the UK, is because one of his ancestors was from the UK. So it's very important to sometimes connect these things very clearly, because what happens is we get the impression about the movie about something that it is not actually about. The movie is actually about a man who comes into this to the United States and who requires or needs to get the signature of a jazz player as part of fulfilling his father's last wish. And he was stuck in no man's land. I see the green and now I'm stumped. Well, that's my time. I don't know what else to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Roshan. Actually, I gave this table topic basically because of him, because of the, that's what I had heard a lot about him. And I remember I lost, I didn't get the visa. I was traveling from Cambodia to Vietnam. And when there were 20 minutes for my flight, my plane to take off, I realized what is that? The expiry date on the visa was wrong, and they told that you cannot travel. And immediately I applied for that 15 minutes visa, that immediate visa, and they actually opened the counter just because they had kept it open just for me. And till last moment, there were only 20 minutes, but still till the last moment my visa didn't appear. When they were about to shut down the final counter, final call for the flight to take off, my visa came in.
Wow.
My visa came in, and then I traveled. I was lucky enough that way. So that's why, yeah, very lucky. So that is how, because it was connecting flights, I could not, it was not possible for me to lose that flight. It was like that. So that was me there.
That's a happy ending.
Yeah, that's an happy ending. So next topic. May I know who is willing to go for the next topic? Who is willing to take up the next topic? Yeah, Ishwar Kiran. Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you raising a hand. 1 second. Let me post the topic. Please see the chat box so that you don't exactly know what I'm speaking. Living in a world with no rules. Living in a world with no rules. Over to you, Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran.
Yeah. Living with the world with no rules is like animals are living in a forest without no rules, no laws. So it is if we live with no rules, there will be chaos will be there. And but what actually, when I was learning with my one guru, and used to preach this one, living with no rules, like totally there will be what we are presently is in the present system of government or the society is controlled chaosness. So it is called as controlled lawful lawlessness. So this is what he used to say, and uh, because actually we know it actually goes into depth, and it is how without the system, without rules also, people can control them, but the chaosness we cannot control it. So rules should be there, the laws should be there, and the society should be there, and what I feel is like then what is everything, whatever as it is good, it is best. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran. May I know who will go next?
FYI, now we can see you, so you can smile.
Okay, I was just trying to copy the message. So who is it next? Amit, are you willing to?
Okay.
We have Toastmaster. Yes. Okay, Toastmaster Amit, you have your topic here. 1 second. My hideout. My hideout. By my hideout, yeah, you continue. Later, I'll tell you what it is.
No, you,
Not hiding from my wife, but
you better tell me the actual meaning of it. All right. Good evening, Toastmasters. Well, my hideout, to be really honest with you all, is my home. Why? Because yes, of course, it's a place where I comfort myself, and I have my loved ones here. That being the case, I don't hide myself normally from any situation that I face. I like to go head on with all the problems and try to find a solution. When my plate is completely filled with situations, then I slowly try to find my hideout just to um, try and get some kind of a comfort from my loved ones. Um, yeah, like I feel that home is the best for most of the people, I feel. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
thank you, Toastmaster Amit. Yeah, so the next topic, the last topic. So who is willing to take up the next topic? We have many who have not spoken here.
Veera ma'am.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so I'll post it in the chat box. 1 second, ma'am. Give me some time. The place that scared me.
Well, I'm in the Toastmasters meeting, and what scares you more than a table topic session? They say things like the fear of public speaking is more than the fear of death. And it is the #1 fear in a lot of surveys and things like that. I think it is the table topic session which is a more fearful place than the just public speaking. You can prepare your speech at home and you just rattle it out, memorize it and speak about it. But it is the table topic session that is the most scary place. Sometimes when you're participating in competitions, even the stage becomes a very scary place. Your mind suddenly goes blank sometimes, and you really wish to run away from there. So yes, scary is as scary does, and it is to kill these scary ghosts that I have joined Toastmasters. I still have butterflies in my stomach. It's 20 years since I have been a Toastmaster. The butterflies are there now, but they fly in formation, that's all. So, yes, I can't think of anything else that scares me. Over to you, Fiona.
Thank you, ma'am. When you spoke about stage fear or like giving a speech, I remember I get scared when I have to sing on the stage. When I was in 8th standard, I prepared a different song, practiced, and did everything. I was very ready. I was ready for that day. When I stood in front of the mic, I sang something else. So that's me.
You
So
sang a different song altogether, Fiona.
yeah, I sang a different song altogether.
Automatically, or like from
No,
the fear of singing that song, you said nope, I'll do another song.
No, I didn't. When I reached near the mic, I forgot which song I was practicing. So I sang one random song.
That's what the jitters can do for you.
Yes. So now, so here we come to the end of the table topic session. Thank you everyone for taking part in it. So over to you, Toastmaster Jacob.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Fiona, and all the table topic speakers. Please give them all of them a big applause. I call upon the please Toastmaster Amit. Can you please give out the timings of the table topics?
Yes, thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Jacob. Our first speaker for the table topic was Toastmaster Roshan, who took 1 minute 24 seconds. Second speaker was Ishwar, took 1 minute 27 seconds. Third was Amit, who's taken 1 minute 16 seconds. And the fourth speaker was DTM Veera, who took 1 minute 29 seconds. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit, for the timings. Before we go to the next session, just let me say something more about this no man's land. As Roshan Handan had told in his speech about the two warring factions, I remember about there's a movie made about the Bosnian War, where two soldiers having if one gets up, he will get shot, and the other gets up, something like that. And about the First World War, where the two trenches on the both sides were there. It was a trench warfare, and at the end of maybe each session of the war, they used to come and in the no man's land and have tea or coffee at that time. So even no man's land used to be like a friendship zone that time. Okay, let us go to our next session, the general evaluation. I welcome again Toastmaster Vignesh to do the detailed analysis. Please welcome him.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob. Let us begin with the evaluation session. I call upon the first evaluator, Toastmaster Jyotika, to evaluate the first speaker.
Thank you very much. It is said that self-introspection and learning from our experience is the best learning one can bring to the world. While we all introspect, not many end up learning from experience. But our speaker today, Toastmaster Roshan, through his speech, My Journey into No Man's Land, articulated the dichotomy of perspective. He told us what freedom and progress means to him when compared to his peers. While he was introspecting on the learnings from his experience, it certainly made me introspect the true meaning of the adjectives that he defined. His speech had a clear opening because he started by explaining what no man's land means to him. His personal story was smartly placed in the body, and the conclusion had a quote that he narrated. All this constitutes the basic outline of his speech, and his objective was to learn the basic structure of the speech, which I believe he did very well. In his own innovative way, he spoke about one aspect of himself. It may not have been a traditional icebreaker narrative that we expected, but he was creative, as he did speak about one aspect of himself, his perspective. We certainly got to know that he is a soft skills trainer who has conquered the world in his own way. With comfortable delivery and command over language, this icebreaker seemed like a piece of cake for him. However, I do believe that he has the potential to deliver a great speech, which can be obtained through preparation. Therefore, I would recommend you spend some time to script the speech and also practice it in your future speeches. It will not only help you improve your spontaneity, but will give you clarity in your thoughts, in your message, which is essential for being a great public speaker. Your calmness and composure has certainly helped you deliver a speech, making it clear that you are certainly a force to reckon. In summary, while introspection is a great tool for growth, perspective defines who you are. A speech with a good opening, body, and conclusion, delivered with a calm demeanor, converted this icebreaker speech into a pathbreaker. With sufficient preparation and practice, you will be able to deliver speeches that are of great value to your audience and to you as an effective speaker. I wish you all the best, and I'm sure you will soar high to greater heights in the future.
Thank you, Jyotika. Thank you.
Now, can we have the second evaluator, Toastmaster Ashrita, to evaluate the second speaker?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Today we saw Toastmaster Ishwar Kiran in one of his best speeches because he always thrives to be a leader. Most of his speeches are much more philosophical, but today we saw the power of a leader. Well, he did start off with a punch that was where there is a will, there is a way. True to this statement, definitely he's come a long way. His well articulate formula was given in more intricate. He did tell us about the various steps he has taken to be a leader, which is management counseling, personality development, and he took some of the courses. It shows that the time he has spent on himself to develop the capability of how to be a leader, which also points out the intricate details he has given us. And he was also very personal at one point of time when he told the actual meaning of a leader. Well, leaders are of different types, but when he repeated saying that how he became a leader from a non-assertive to an assertive form, we did note that the repetition had a purpose. But we did figure out that we know now that he is an assertive leader. Of course, to be an autocratic leader, there are a lot of steps. A personal touch would have been better, and also we would have seen him surge as a leader if he would have shown us his bright face, which was a little dark lit. So I would recommend him to sit up in a bright background, at least the virtual meeting, and also another narrative would be the formulative structure of his speeches. He would have also told us about different steps which he has, personal steps which he has taken. And also one more recommendation would be that he could have told us about the time he has taken, about the real tough aspects, which would also help others to be a better leader. Because sharing your knowledge would often help others to develop their own skills, and sharing is also caring. So thank you so much for sharing, and good luck to your future aspects and to being a great leader. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Vignesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashrita. Now let us have Toastmaster Nikita to evaluate the third speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vignesh. My target speaker for today, Toastmaster Zena Lewis, presented her final speech, I believe, in her path. Toastmaster Zena Lewis, during her speech, I was reminded of the bird phoenix. It appears in the ancient Greek folklore, and all of you Harry Potter fans would be would know about this bird. This bird is associated with the sun, and a phoenix comes to life basically by rising from its ashes. Throughout your speech, I was reminded of this. Your speech today was very personal to you. You recounted your most, you did not shy away from talking about your lowest, weakest moments, basically. And that showed what a courageous and brave person you are. And you displayed this throughout your speech by recounting how you have risen from the ashes and started a new life, basically. The content was compelling and you held the audience attention throughout your speech. There were several moments where I really enjoyed your speech. For example, your spoken language was very clear and it was easily understandable to the audience. You were self-assured and comfortable throughout the speech. And you also, you did not just talk about yourself, you also brought in other world experience of other people. For example, Jack Ma, you quoted others also. And this made it a very compelling speech. And as you've come to the end of the path and start a new path, I would like to offer you a few suggestions where you can take on, where you can improve upon in the next path. The first thing is regarding the transitions. When you come from first one point to the other, you can, your speed was a little higher. So if you lower your speed and start and have smoother transitions when you go from one point to the other, as in use more pauses, that would make your speech more effective. And especially you have a very good voice, a very bold voice, and the audience was clearly able to hear your speech. But when you're talking about certain experiences, for example, your friends and certain sad experiences, you can maybe lower your voice, your tone and your pitch, so as to easily convey the emotion behind the certain incidences. So these are the methods where you can improve upon in your future speeches. And there was another thing about the placement of your camera, basically. Because of the placement, either because of the placement of your camera or the background, there's a shadow cast upon your face, which is why your facial expressions are not clearly visible. And these facial expressions only go on to enhance the speech. So you can maybe change your position where you're sitting, or maybe a lighter background, and this can only help enhance your speech, enhance your future speeches. All the best to you, Toastmaster Zena Lewis, and good luck for your future speeches. Thank you, and back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikita. Before we move on to the tag teams report, I'd like to ask the timer, Toastmaster Amit, to please take up the time taken.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh. Our first evaluator was Toastmaster Jyotika. She has taken 2 minutes 43 seconds. The second evaluator was Toastmaster Ashrita. She took 2 minutes 41 seconds. And Toastmaster Nikita, she's taken 3 minutes. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit. I believe the voting links would be put up later.
Yes, I can share the voting link now. Meanwhile, you can start your report also.
Yeah, thank you. So let us move on to the tag teams report. Now I call upon Toastmaster Rashmika, who holds the reins for grammar today on one hand, and on the other hand, she has a threat for not using the word conquer. FYI, I just used the word conquer. Over to you, Toastmaster Rashmika.
Yeah, thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vignesh. And to begin with, I will provide the R counter reports and then the grammarian report, just to distinguish between the both. And I'll go with my R counter report, and this is perfect a moment where the pot is calling the kettle black, because I myself use a lot of R's now. But nonetheless, let me go ahead with the report. The President, Fiona, in her presidential address, somewhere in the beginning, the usage, I mean, there were a little more and filler words. And after that, there was I think it was a very smooth flowing presidential address. After that, a little of more than 10 R's and Ums was that I could count off. The Toastmaster of the day, I really like to applaud the way you hold all the short pauses and all of that. But however, throughout your Toastmaster of the day part of your role, I could find a little more than 10 of R's and Ums and all that. Coming to the prepared speeches, the first speaker, Toastmaster Roshan, I could find a little about 15 plus R's and Ums in your speeches, a little bit in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. And also the filler word was used a little more than 2 times. Coming to the second speaker, Toastmaster Ishwar, I could find it again a little more than 15 R's and Ums and filler words. And also I would suggest the short pauses could have been used. I couldn't differentiate between the pauses that you've used. Also, Toastmaster Zina, the third speaker, I could actually find just a couple of R's and Ums, and maybe a long pause somewhere in between the speech could have enhanced your speech. And moving to the table topic speaker, table topic segment, all the speakers used a little more than 4 R's and Ums. That's much about it, and I'm not going to comment more on the filler words. The evaluator, the first evaluator, Toastmaster Jyotika, used about I couldn't find any R's and Ums or filler words, and maybe I was trapped, into noting down all the Sarurian dictionary that you've been using. And the second evaluator is Toastmaster Ashrita. Towards the end is somewhere I could find a little bit of R's and filler words, and that was not more than 5 though. And the third speaker, Toastmaster Nikita, again, just in the beginning, I could find a little bit of R's and Ums and crutch words, which was again less than 5. So that's about my R counters report. Moving on to the grammarians report, unfortunately, very few people used the word of the day and phrase of the day, and I really don't have so many punishments for all of you all. I expected most of you to use it, but nonetheless, I will applaud the ones who've used it. Roshan, the general evaluator Vignesh, and Toastmaster Jyotika. Congratulations to all of you for obliging and using the word of the day or the phrase of the day. Moving on to good usage of the word, let me just clarify that I've just used, I've not noted on just the good usage of the words, but also some thoughts, idioms, or maybe a group of words together. So coming to the Toastmaster of the day, Jacob has used few words like landlocked, and the theme itself was a very good group of words: no man's land, corridor, immigration, and all of that. Coming to the prepared speaker, Toastmaster Roshan used words such as trickiest, curious, desires, paraphrase, and the adverb perhaps was used in your sentence. Sometimes we use and mostly. We don't use perhaps often. I really love to hear perhaps more. And freedom from responsibility, consequences, solitude, high heaven. Second speaker, Toastmaster Ishwar, used few good words or group of words such as passive, route, democratic, authoritative, and also the title of the speech, where there is a will, there's a way, was also commendable. The third speaker, there were a lot of words, and I would just mention few in the interest of the time. Some of the words were anxious, effortlessly, negative vibes, embrace, calm, adequate, crises, scaled up. And coming to the table topic part of the meeting, the few good usages from the whole segment was lucid, fulfilling last wish, chaos, comfort zone, mind goes blank. Coming to the evaluation part, a few of the good usages again were introspection, dichotomy, recommendable, forced to reckon. And the second evaluator used the words such as repetition has purpose. I mean, it was a very nice thought, I would say. Formulative, tough aspect. The third evaluator, Nikita, used words, a group of words such as shine away, compelling, self-assured, and all of that. Coming to the not so good usage of the word, I mean, I'll just point out a few of it. One of the speaker used, which is that? I think that is would have been the right way. And working my under, I think the correct phrasing, I mean, correct order would be working under and my or me, whatsoever. And also one of the putting fear, I think a better word instead of putting fear is maybe instilling fear. And that's about it. And yeah, and also some sentences we tend to use and more than 2 times, I mean, more than 1 times in one sentence. I think we can break whenever we have to use and more than one. And also some, this is something I say always, articles like a, and the, in most of the speeches or in most of the talks, including mine, they were missing or they were invariably used. I mean, instead of a, and or something, I would suggest Wren and Martin books to all of us, including me, to improve our grammar. Over to you, General Evaluator Vignesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashmika. That ends the tag team reports. Now it's time for the general evaluations report. A quick reminder that everyone has voted for the respective speakers in the voting links. The meeting started at exactly at 5:35. Now, when you have guests and people from different clubs, it's like you're stuck in a foreign land. But we were not made to feel that way. With Toastmaster Fiona's warm welcome to each and every person. So kudos Toastmaster Fiona for acknowledging the presence of each and everyone present in the meeting. Next, let us move on to the Toastmaster of the day, the helmsman for the ship for this voyage today, Toastmaster Jacob. Toastmaster Jacob, with utmost care and proficiency, carried out the meeting flawlessly without any disruptions, sharing a few personal stories, sharing interesting thoughts, and giving us knowledge. So kudos to Toastmaster Jacob for a job well done. Moving on, my tag team members. See, in a Toastmasters meetings, if you don't have tag team members, that is the grammarian, the timer, the R counter, not laying down what you must do, it's like living in a land with no rules. But they explained the rules really perfectly and emphasized what their part in the meeting was. So kudos to all the role takers, being Toastmaster Amit, Toastmaster Rashmika, and forgive me if I'm missing out on anyone else. Coming to the evaluation segment. Now, evaluation is the essence of every speech. It nurtures the speaker and the speech. The evaluators provided valuable feedback, which is the most important thing for each and every evaluation session. So kudos to all the evaluators for helping the speakers come out from their hiding out zone, that is their uncomfort zone, to a proper learning zone. And finally, the table topic session, the place which scares us all. Toastmaster Fiona, with simple topics and her own personal experiences, made sure that each and everyone feels a part, feels comfortable to take part in this table topic sessions. So a job well done, Toastmaster Fiona. And finally, if I had to give any suggestion, that would be maintaining the time. That's all I could give. The meeting was run very fabulously, like a well-oiled machine. So kudos to all the members for doing a fantastic job and carrying out the meeting very smoothly. Forgive me if I have forgotten anyone to mention anyone else. So with this, I'll end my general evaluation report. Back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Jacob.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vignesh, for that very good analysis. You put the theme of the meeting in most of your words. Thank you very much for that. Please give Toastmaster Vignesh and his tag team a big applause. Just before I end my role, I'll just finish the story I started. I left it halfway between. That friend in the story is walking up and down that 1 kilometer long, carrying his bags. He must have got very tired, no food, no restaurants. Finally, he remembered Maharan Karimi. He thought himself he may have to spend 18 years in that, beg for whatever he can get from the passengers going up and down. But finally, it was almost evening. In desperation, he went again back to the Chinese immigration center. There, the main lady officer somehow, just took pity on him. So she called him and wrote in a paper something in Chinese and put a Chinese seal on it and said to him, now you run to Hong Kong Immigration Center. This letter has got only a validity of 30 minutes. Only this much I can help you. So with his bags, he ran that 1.5 kilometers or 1 kilometer back to the immigration for his life actually. He reached the Hong Kong Immigration Center, presented his passport and that paper. Hong Kong authorities gave him entry to Hong Kong. Thus he was saved. Let us hope we all don't end up in such situations or similar situation, but learn to help people who experience such drastic conditions. With that, I end my Toastmaster of the Day role, and I give my mic, we call it mic, back to Toastmaster Fayana, the president.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob. Really, it was amazing. I was very curious to know what happened in the end because I've gone through the same situation. So I wanted to know what exactly you kept it. It was like a suspense movie. It was very good. Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob, for that amazing MC. And then I would like to announce the results. Before I announce the results, I'm very happy. I've seen my club members speaking few months ago, and I see a lot of changes now. And I'm very happy to see those changes, how you have developed as a speaker. It really says that everyone is working hard. So now we have, so let me announce the results now. So we have the best speaker of the day. We have two, it is shared between two people, that is Toastmaster Roshan and Toastmaster Zina. Congratulations to you, both of you. We have the best evaluator, Toastmaster Jyotika. Congratulations to you, ma'am. And we have the best table topic speaker, Toastmaster DTM Veera Katpatia. Congratulations to you, ma'am. So here we come to the end of the meeting. Before that, I want to thank all the Toastmasters for taking up the role, especially from other clubs, Toastmaster Nikita, Toastmaster Rashmika, and Toastmaster Vignesh. Thank you for being a part of Inspiron Toastmasters meeting. Thank you, DTM Veera Katpatia, for being a part of a meeting as well. And few more announcements which I have to make. Members, you all know we have very few people in the in Inspiron Toastmasters. So we it is more the merrier. So more the members, more will be the learning, more will be the joy. So therefore, if you have any friends who have trouble, who have fear of public speaking, or who want to grow professionally and personally, do introduce them about Inspiron Toastmasters and tag them to our meetings. And we have a newsletter coming up, so I request everyone to give your articles here so that we can prepare a very good newsletter. Initially, I remember when when I first joined as a member, and Toastmaster Amit asked me to write something for the newsletter. I was hyper excited, telling, "Oh my God, it's something international! I'm writing for Toastmaster International." That's what I told everyone and bragged about it. So let's have that same enthusiasm to write an article. Let it be anything, not maybe drawing or any cooking recipes or any good article, the poem, the story. So every one of us is a storyteller here. So let us write it down and give that story to Toastmaster Royal. So thank you everyone for being a part of this meeting. You always make this meeting amazing. Will we adjourn the meeting now?
Yes.
Yes, let's adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.